Hello guys, today we got a bit of a different video. It's regarding a tune we're doing on a car at the moment, or it's two cars that recently appeared here with similar issues, and I just want to share with you some of the things that have happened. And the problem is, it's the problem these things cause when you have a busy place as we do. So we got left two cars to be tuned, one for stage 3, one for stage 4. One of them an E30 and the other one is a Z3. So well, where to start? So this E30, when it was left under the impression that the car used to run, but then he hasn't run it for a long time. He said a few months. This said, yeah, okay, fine. The car was dropped on a recovery. I only started the car, I think, a week or 2 weeks later. And so when I started it, the car was running really poorly. And it had a massive fuel leak. So the rubber hoses on the front had split because they were dry, and it was just leaking fuel. Well, we sorted them out, of course. We done the stage 4. We always replace the fuel hoses anyway on the front, so it's, everything is out, might as well do it. They will be old, so it's not a big deal. We have the car running for the first time, and massive leak, this time coming out from the back on the fuel tank. It was just leaking all the fuel out of the fuel pump on the rubber hoses on the back. So again, another job that added on. We had to drop the fuel tank, replace the fuel hoses, sort all that out. As the car was here, massive puddle of oil. You can see all the places that car have been parked because it just keeps on dripping oil everywhere. Now, I've been told by the customer it had a timing case, like timing chain was done long ago, so they replaced all the guides and chain and seals, but I don't know. It just I don't know if you can see, like, it's a proper puddle of oil in here. Like, it's oil everywhere. It's power steering leaking. It's engine oil. It's a proper mess. Then it's not the customer to blame, obviously, but it's things like this will delay my work, and then of course this will change your bill, as you expect, because if you want me to sort everything to make it right, it needs to be done right. And like when you tune a car, you're going to push the engine a bit more, so you really need to have things done properly. So this one is now waiting for an answer for the customer, because he's having a bit of a debate with the guys that worked previously on the car. And then we had a Z3 for a stage 3, like just another stage 3. We've done quite a few recently, because it has a very good balance in terms of performance gain, torque, and whatever the engine performance comes out, it's really good. It has been really a top seller. And for the first time we had a car, like, we put it on the dyno. I like to do things in stages. Sometimes I map them first, dyno again, see how it does. This time I decided I'll fit the cams, and I see just the cams on their own, how much power do they gain, and the torque. And well, for starters, like, the amount of air leaks this car had was unbelievable. There was not a single pipe that wasn't cracked. So replaced every single pipe on the intake manifold. Like, all the rubber hoses were cracked, no exception, every single one of them. We changed all the rubber hoses, the main hose that comes into the airflow meter, then we put a decent air filter on it. Then when I was porting the throttle body, I found the adjustment was way out. So it was opened, and I couldn't understand why. So because I was porting it, it was out. I rebalanced everything, so I put it on the position where it should be, make sure it moves freely, everything was working perfect, put it on the car. Put it on the car, car would start, but wouldn't idle, just cut off straight away. So I thought, maybe it's a idle speed valve that is dirty or something. So as I'm pulling the idle speed valve off, I found why it wasn't working. Someone decided to have the brilliant idea of putting a cardboard blocking the idle speed valve from working. So remove that, idle speed valve back on place, ta-da! Runs again, perfect. Now, straight after this, I went to change the cams. Okay, sorry, I've been jumping forwards and backwards, but I'm trying to just tell you the things as they are. It's very hard to follow because it's so many things. And inside the engine, the color and the smell of it. It's one of those that you have to feel it. You cannot describe it. So the oil has been on the engine, God knows for how long. I generally don't know. The engine is really black inside. So what we do, we take everything we take off, we put it on the ultrasonic cleaner. They spend 40 minutes on the cleaner, and they come out looking okay, not proper clean, but the coating was really, really severe. So as I said, we fit the cams on, dyno it, and the car makes less power and torque, a lot less than what it made, and it was completely standard. This is after replacing everything. Now, you ask why? And the reason for the answer is very easy. You start to increase the cylinder pressure. If things are weak, it's going to show straight away. So the lifters were making an horrendous noise after this, and I couldn't get them to fill. So I decided to take the oil off, and not surprised anymore. The oil that came out of it was absolutely appalling. There's no good way of putting it. It was really, really bad. The oil was low on the level, which is, it's okay, it's not a big deal. It was not super low, it was not on the minimum. It was slightly below the medium side on the dipstick, close to the minimum. But then, when I pulled the oil filter out, then it was one of those that, besides, of course, the smell again, it was horrendous. Put my hands on, and the filter starts collapsing in my hands. So this suggests that that filter has been changed in a very, very long time. And then, of course, it was full of debris on it. It, like from carbon deposits, it was blocked. Now, the lifters weren't working right, and this is what caused the power to drop, because the valves are not opening as they should, the lifters are not filling up, there's no oil pressure. The amount of time that took for the engine to get quiet after installing the cams and having everything cleaned was longer, much longer than what usually takes. Usually within 10 seconds it's done. This car had to run easily for 10 minutes for them to stop making noise. And then at top end, like over 4,000, they were still a bit noisy. And out of all the cars I've done with these cams and this stage, never had an issue like this. This is literally the first one, so something had to be wrong with it. Then, other thing, today I decided, okay, let me take the spark plugs off. And I found a beautiful surprise. I don't think they've ever been changed. Now, with all these things going on, like, I understand why torque was so low. Like, usually an M44, a healthy one, it's like, let's forget power, because power doesn't show anything, especially if you have like a performance exhaust and air filter that helps the car breathe at top end, so it will always deliver the power, but torque. So peak torque on these engines usually is between 132 to 135. Okay, that happens on this engine. It's very common to have them at that torque. A healthy engine will do that. This car was at 129. It's not a lot, but shows a lot. This difference in torque, it showed me that something wasn't quite right on it. So the power number was not bad, 143, but it's because it has a free flow exhaust, and then it had an air filter, so it helps the torque leveling up at top end. But still, on peak torque was not strong. So this would be an engine that feels a bit sluggish, because the torque, the average torque, is lower. Just because it makes the power at the top, it doesn't mean it's a healthy engine. So this is the thing. This is why the dyno, you have the torque and the power line, so you can analyze the engine properly. Most people just look at peak power, and I keep on saying torque is the important thing. Torque is what tells you how strong the engine is. It's not peak power. So, and this car on torque was very flat. Like it was bad. 129 foot-pounds is the same you can get out of a 1.8 easily. This is a 1.9. An M42 usually does that, and it's 1.8. Now, this is just really a typical example of bad servicing. And now, this is the other interesting part. I spoke to the customer about it, and of course, customer didn't know. And he just told me the car has been serviced by a mobile mechanic. Now, bear in mind, the customer has no mechanical knowledge. Of course, not everyone needs to know. So he never checked anything. He trusts the person that is working on the car. And so he left the key for the guy to do the work. He just do what he has to do, and then the car was left for the other person to do the job. Now this shows clearly the job wasn't done. Oil, spark plugs, I don't know like what oil did he use on it, but I don't think it has been changed in a long time. Or he used a very, very cheap oil, which it's most of the cases. And then do it, charge whatever it has to charge, and leave it. Now, some of the things I found in here were extremely bad. Like, it's just one of those. For performance, the first base is to have a healthy engine. And to have an healthy engine, you need to service it properly. Now, I know, like most people will not service their cars, they will leave that to someone else to do. But I have found quite a few cars recently to come to be tuned, and things haven't done properly. Like, I know they're not new cars anymore, they have a few years, but the proper servicing is extremely important when you're thinking of tuning your car. You cannot just turn up, ask me to tune it, and expect it to work. Like, in order to put out the power levels like we usually show, everything has to be very healthy, everything has to be looked after, So in the end, we will get it there. But like, it's never going to be like the price we quote you if we have to carry twice the amount of work. So usually what I do is I always take pictures, videos of all the work we do on the cars, as most of you now know. So you can see exactly what was done, how badly it was done. Like, I don't need to know who done it, it's just, I don't care. Like, we care about what we do, not what the others have done. We want to deliver a clean and proper job, of course, so then we can guarantee the results that we always have. Now, as I said, this back to stage one. It's very important for cars to be serviced properly. Like, if you take your car to be serviced somewhere you've never been, or even if you have been, make sure everything is done right. It's hard to check, but like, you will feel it. The thing is, every time you service a car, you should feel the car runs smoother. If it feels the same as before, something isn't right, you see. So this is the thing. You have to, feel your car a bit more. Your car will tell you if it's happy or not. And this Z3, like, it was like the worst I've had so far, as it's the first car ever that I fit a set of performance cams, and it makes less power than standard. So we are now addressing the issue, and then, of course, it should deliver the usual numbers they always do. Anyway, guys, stay tuned. Thank you for your time on watching this video. If you guys want to follow us, our Instagram is BDS_motorsport, and like and subscribe for more videos. I'll try to do more videos now on YouTube. And, well, nice to have you on the other side. Thank you.